Sorry about that. I'll wait for everybody to jump back on. Sorry, I hit the camera instead of my my arm that holds my camera. So I apologize for that. So wait for you guys to jump back on. So anyways, in Stamp Camp, one of the cards that we did, we used this embossing folder, which my go-to would have been white right away, and I decided to do it in green and kind of change it up, go out of my box a little bit. But I always wanted to go back and do one in white, and I had this white pearl paper in home, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. It kind of has a little cast of gold in it, if you could see the paper close up. And then I just went through my stash of Christmas fonts, and I picked this Merry Christmas in gold, and I used the new gems from Pink Fresh. And just, I mean, this would be a super fast card if you're looking to like hurry up and do some beautiful quick Christmas cards. This is, I mean, it was super easy to do. I did not have to spray the back. Sometimes when you're using a little heavier paper in a 3D embossing folder, they tell you kind of mist the back with water. I didn't have to do that. I tried one and it didn't crack or anything. But I love this. So that was one of the first things that I did. And then I got my markers out, and I had this image from, I have several, and I'll go back and finish the other ones, from Newton's Nook. They're just really kind of cute little, you know, if you're a dog or cat lover, they're just kind of cutesy little, sweet little images. And this is one of their new designs with a little dog and cat on the Christmas tree. So I did use these. You'll see a lot of red. I didn't grab a whole variety of the Olo markers, but I did grab some of the reds and greens, because that's what I figured I was going to be working on in Christmas. One of the things I forgot to grab, there are these little kind of connector rings, which I did not grab, so it was kind of odd coloring with it without it. There are little handles you can get too. But I kind of stuck with a lot of reds. So I found a new absolutely red that I love. This is R1.5. I don't even know if they have, oh, it's called Lingonberry. So I didn't know that they even have colors. But one of these things, that Olo markers are a new alcohol marker. And inside here, I don't know if you can hear, but there is like a barrel of ink. There, unlike Copic markers, there is a filament that goes through here, and then the ink is around that. This has if you could see it, there is a clear barrel of ink, which keeps the fluid and the ink just flowing the whole time. It has a beautiful tip, very much like the Copic markers. And the amount of ink in this particular cartridge is equal to the amount of ink in a Copic marker. And right now, I think we have over 100 colors. We have the full display. And initially in their first run, what they were doing is trying to fill in colors that may be missing in the Copic marker line. They have some colors that work together really well themselves. And this red is my new favorite red. It is beautiful. It is like what I would consider like a true Christmas red. There are other reds that I have. This is kind of a pinky red. And these go in this family, but they don't go with that one. There wasn't a color that matched with that, but I found that I used my Copic, my R46 with this, and I actually used this color. to do my dark, my medium, and my light. And those are kind of the colors that I kind of decided that I would use in a lot of these images that I colored, and kind of stuck with those colors. I'm really liking these Ola markers. One pen is $4.25. Our Copics are $7.99. So you really get 2 pens once you pick another color that goes on the other side, and there's a little connector that will attach these two together. They are $8.50. So worth the pen itself. They color like a dream. And one of the things that I kind of noticed, like when I was coloring, I don't really get that like streaky look. Like it fills in really nice. Sometimes with the Copic markers, when you color, you kind of get a lot of lines that you end up going back and blending out. I found that I didn't get that with the Ola markers, and I think it has something personally to do just with the ink flow with that cartridge. So these I'm going to be using and integrating with my Copic. I'm not getting rid of my Copics. I love my Copics. But there's colors that we find, like look at those colors. I don't think there's any colors that are in the Copic line that are in those tones and values, and or there might be something similar that I can mix with them. So, and this month we actually have, I think if you buy 12 individual ones, you get 2 free. So, kind of, a lot of customers are buying a couple of them, and we've had, Kim, who does classes with us and definitely uses Copics, bought a bunch, and she's in love with them. I'm loving the flow of them. I need to get more colors, and then I can kind of go on and on. So you can see that the reds in here, the shading, they were done with those 3 colors that I picked. I also went and I always have a backup. I went through 1 Wink of Stella already. I have 2 others, but everything is Wink of Stella and Glossy Accents. One of my calming, fun companies to stamp and color all the time are Whippersnapper, and we have this cute little Santa guy in the sack. And once again, the reds were done with those Ola markers. The Copics were, the other colors were done with my Copics. A little bit of that green, that's one of their green markers, and I used it with a Copic. And the 2 of them blend really nice together. So they play well together. And this is what I was talking about. When I was straightening and cleaning, I found that little die cut. So it's like, This one I did earlier and kind of showed a picture. Fun to color. These are Woodware stamps, and these are in our online store. Somewhere I have the package. I'll show you what the other package. This is the Woodware Craft Collection, and they have a really good price point. A lot of their stamps are $8.50, and you usually get multiple images in there. This one I haven't colored yet, the little snow gnome, but this is the Santa mug. Once again, the reds and these greens and the yellows. One of the yellows is the Olo, and then I mixed that with one of the Copic colors. But the greens are those Olo markers. So this was just fun, and once again, that was a background that was in my little stash. I have a little container, actually it's a big container now. I have this huge box. And in my box, I have lots of different die cuts and pieces that I've worked with and decided I didn't want to use. So a lot of times it's like my go-to box. So I don't have to stamp or die cut something separate. I just kind of go in there and find something. And that background was one of the ones that I came across. This is a newer stamp set in die from Photoplay. It's called Santa's Helpers. And So this is what I created with the little Santa helper. And this die cut was something I found in my little stash. It's actually, I probably use the inside. It's actually a really nice die set from Honeybee, and I really like it. But I'm using the window part, the part that I normally would have thrown out. And I colored the little guys. I inked my little background with my blending tool. Lots of Wink of Stella, glossy accents. And then this sentiment was from Tailored Expressions. We have this new sentiment greeting set, and there are, gosh, oh, let me go grab the stamp so I can show you. It's called the Altogether Christmas stamp set. It's a rubber, and it has all these sentiments on there, and then there's a coordinating die with it. So it's very much like the Pink Fresh, where you have one solid stamp, and then the die is one plate that cuts these all out at the same time. And I did a bunch of them in white, and then I just took my Olo marker and colored over it, so I created the background in red with this little set. And then I have these extra little pieces that I colored that I need to create another little card with them. But they're all colored and ready to go. And they're all from this little stamp set. And they colored up really fast because they're tiny. I have this colored. I didn't finish putting it together, but another one from Whippersnapper. And this, the Evergreen Swag, this is from Colorado Craft Company. You can make a slimline card with it, but I wanted to show that just using part of it, you can just create a A2 size card, and that's what I did. There is a die where you can get the bow and this little extra berry section to pop. And I have this little sentiment, and I'm not sure what stamp set this came from because it was in my container of images that I had stamped and then decided didn't want to use it on that particular card, and then it was perfect for here. So this is the Colorado Craft, the big, oh, what do they call this one? Oh, the Pine Swag. Super easy. In the background, the color, you just kind of flick different shades of green, and that filled in like super fast. This was another stamp. We have several of the stamp and dies from Gemini. There are multiple designs, and I decided to do the bells. Once again, I used the Olo markers on here, and I was really happy with it. Now they have 2 dies that are in this set, and you can actually stamp your design on the edge of a card front and then do the decorative edge on one side. So depending whether you want it on the right or left, there are the dies for each side. I actually did both the dies together, so it cut the image out in one complete piece. I did one side first, and then I connected and did the other side. So you could, it's multiple ways that you can do that. And that's actually really kind of a neat idea, because if you're doing that on a solid die, you really have to mark it and roll partially on your cutter and then go backwards so you don't cut the whole die, where here you can use both sides to cut it out, or have the left side cut or the right side cut. And these are super, I I thought, inexpensive for the stamp and the die. Like I said, we have a variety of ones in the store. These two designs, these are from the LDRS, from Polka Doodles, which is a company actually out of Polka Doodles is out of England, and for a while LDRS was selling their designs, and now we get them direct from Polka Doodles. But I just love their little images, and this is something I've been wanting to do on my bucket list actually since last year. I was always going to do a class with them, and so this time I actually grabbed a couple and I did some cards. So this is the first little girl, and the Merry Everything is a it's a stamp and die set from Photoplay. So I used the Merry Everything. I stamped it in red, and then I used the die, and I cut that out. A snowflake background embossing folder. I'm sure for those of you that love embossing folders, if you went in your little stash, you probably found, I probably had about 6 different snowflake embossing folders to choose from, and I chose this one. But I love coloring them. And then this is the other little girl. And this is a different snowflake embossing folder. And I'll kind of move it a little bit closer so if you can see it, or maybe keep it here. But this is the deboss side of the same folder, and this is the emboss side. So I just flipped one in the other direction. But the sweet little polka doodles. This one I'm actually working on right now. We have a lot of new Pretty Pink Posh, and I think this is, I don't know if they call it the Christmas or their winter. I forgot what they have. They have a series of names for this, but this is from Pretty Pink Posh, and just making a just really kind of clean and simple card. I didn't put it together yet. Once again, this particular die background, I don't even know if it's available anymore, but I believe it was a Pretty Pink Posh, or no, Pink Fresh, which I had in my little container. I just pulled that out. And I just need to adhere this. Still deciding whether I want to ink the backgrounds, the edges a little bit, or just leave it. But just another really kind of beautiful collection of winter and seasonal foliage from Pretty Pink Posh. This one I didn't do yet, and this is on my bucket list, so hopefully by the end of this week I'll be able to do this. These are their pine Christmas trees, which make a 3D pine trees. They showed one of them where they used dictionary print, so I have a bunch of dictionaries, so I want to die cut some and make some 3D trees. Another die that I want to work on that I didn't get to yet is the little gingerbread house from Hero Arts. So we'll see if I get this one done today. So in between, I'll be like crafting when the Bills game's on because it calms me. And the last of the cards that I did, oh no, I did another card. I don't have the other part. This was a class that I took, but I never completed it, so I finished it. This is a die from Creative Expressions. It's this kind of foliage die. It is square. And the Peace on Earth is from Creative Expressions. And on this particular die, I used one of my gilding paste that I use for my stencils. I just put it on my finger and I rub the gold over the black to create that look. And then the last cards that I did, this is the new Chrysanthemum washi tape from Pink Fresh. They came out with 4 or 5 different designs, and I picked out the Chrysanthemum. This particular card, I haven't decided yet how I'm going to finish this, but this was an embossed design that I've had in my little stash. So I was kind of thinking of doing something like that with the sentiment on it. I went and I was using a lot of these Pink Fresh sentiments that were already done. So I was kind of looking in that yellow and orange. Pattern. Oh, I think this is the one that I actually had. I was thinking of doing something like that. I don't know if I want to change the color background, add some more color back there, but a lot of times I'll just kind of start with something like this and kind of go back and forth. I could do another frame and matte that with one of the pinks or yellows and then add this on. I could do another dimensional background on here, maybe even just a plain stripe and have it with that pattern, which might be really cool. So who knows? You'll see it in the store when I finish it, and maybe by the end of the day. But these are the other cards that I came up with the new Chrysanthemum. And so this is just a die cut where with the frame with the circle taken out, had the little pin dots around it. I used this kind of yellow paper as my background, and it was a little bit too bright underneath, and I tried a lot of other colors. So what I did is I put a piece of vellum behind it, and which toned down that background. But if you can see the difference where the little mat is definitely brighter, you can see the difference just by adding a piece of vellum, what that does. And then this was one of the sentiments from the Pink Fresh, the rainbow sentiments, and I found that one. And another die cut that I had around was this slimline die. So this die cut, and I found this kind of peachy color, which I thought went well with all these. And these are the Chrysanthemum. These are some of the images that are in the washi tape. And I put 3 of them, or actually 4, because this is another little sprig that you get in that set. And I put them on the slimline, and I chose one of the sentiments again. So the washi tape actually makes super fast cards because you don't have to, there's no coloring involved. You know, it's just kind of creating. So these are what I've been working on the last couple days. So let's see, it's 12:30. The game is on in a half an hour. And maybe I'll take this half an hour to put into my goal of cleaning my room for at least an hour. We'll see. Hopefully the Bills will definitely do much better than they've done in the last 2 games. Last week was really stressful, and I didn't get a lot of creating. I usually create during the game because I could look up at the game and be calm and know that we're ahead and yada yada. Well, last week was a different story. So hopefully today will be much better. So anybody have any questions? Yeah, please, please. So I'll just kind of show you the things that I've been working on. So I feel like I had a really productive couple days because a lot of these were on my to-do list. Oh, the other thing I have to do is I need to winterize my boots. Really important. We end up getting between 4 and 5 feet worth of snow over here, and they actually finally lifted the ban in Eden, so we can drive in Eden, but Hamburg still has a driving ban. So hopefully by the end of today, they'll lift that driving ban. I plan on being in the store because the Thruway is open, so I'll be in the store tomorrow. And just sent out an email. We have a lot of great specials going on this week. Starting tomorrow, actually, and a couple solely for Friday and Saturday for Black Friday and Small Business Saturday. So I hope you can join us. So take a look at that email. And I know that we can't do them online just because of there's no way to kind of code that for each weird sale that we're doing. But if there was something that you really wanted, you can give me a call. If we have it in the store for those people that watch us all the time, I'd be happy to ring, if it's there, give you the credit. If I know that you live out of town and such and can't get into the store, we'll do our best to take care of you. The store hours this week are Monday and Tuesday, 10 to 3. Oh, and Wednesday, all right, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 10 to 3, because we'll close at 3 on Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. We will be closed Thanksgiving Day, and we will be open Friday from 10 to 6, and on Saturday from 10 until 4. So those are our hours for this week. I'll have to tell Jess to change the time on Wednesday to 3 instead of 4 o'clock. So I just want to say thank you guys for joining me today in this kind of like quick little Facebook Live. We're probably not going to do a Facebook Live Wednesday night unless I have something really exciting to show you. So we'll see. But if I don't get a chance to see you before that, I want to wish everybody a really wonderful and happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your family and friends. And, just, sit back and I'm sure a lot of you guys do this all the time, but just, kind of think about all the things that we're grateful, and I'm grateful that we have such amazing customers that have supported us through these like crazy times. So thank you guys. I'm really blessed. I really appreciate you all, and I appreciate that you guys take the time to join me on my Facebook Live. So everyone, happy Thanksgiving and go Bills.